Hello everyone. Before diving into the structure of the manuscript, I would like to first walk you through the review process as we continue our video series on academic writing. So, when your manuscript is ready and you choose the proper journal for submission, you can start the submission process. The submission process is following these general steps. The process begins when the author or you submit a new manuscript to the journal. At first step, the editorial office or the senior editor conduct an initial assessment of the manuscript to see whether the manuscript lies into the scope of the journal or not. If not, senior editor decides to desk reject it. The manuscript is rejected without any further reviewing. If yes, it will be proceeded to next step. Here, the manuscript is checked for compliance with the journal's formatting and submission requirements, which is called pre-screening. Again here, if it is not, it will be returned to the authors, and the authors must revise and resubmit according to guidelines. If yes, again it will be proceeded to review step. In this step, the associated editor assigns the manuscript to suitable reviewers. Maybe they are not whom you are introduced in the suggested reviewer file or section within the submission process. Reviewers evaluate the manuscript and submit their reviews and recommendations. At this point of decision, based on the reviewer's feedback, the editor makes a decision. Reject, the manuscript is not suitable for publication and you have to start it over here in new manuscript submitted in another journal. Accept, the manuscript is accepted and moved to production. It is rarely happening in the first round. And revision, which can be minor, moderate, or major. Authors are requested to revise and resubmit their manuscript. If the decision is revision, the author submits a revised version addressing reviewers' comments. The revised manuscript is reviewed again by same reviewers. Based on the second round evaluation, it could be rejected, accepted, or further revision can be requested too. If accepted, congrats, the manuscript proceeds to production. As you can see, Wiley publication follows a similar peer-review procedure which is outlined on their website. Now that we understand the peer-review process, it's time to get familiar with some essential tools that can help you within writing and preparing your manuscript. The first group includes referencing tools. You will need a tool to organize and format your reference according to the specific style required by each journal. Two of the most widely used and powerful tools for this purpose are Mendeley and EndNote. Both are user-friendly and you can find plenty of tutorials online. Just search on Google or YouTube. If you're interested in walkthrough or tutorial by me, feel free to leave a comment below. The second group includes tools for writing and formatting your manuscript. Common platforms including Microsoft Office, Word, LaTeX, and Google Docs. No matter which one you use, I strongly recommend using Grammarly to check your grammar, even if you are a native English speaker. Believe me, you don't want to submit a scientific manuscript with avoidable mistakes. The third group includes similarity detection tools. Authenticate is the leading option often by publishers and institutions. The other options, you can try them too. When it comes to visualization, visualizing data. Many of you are probably familiar with Microsoft Excel. However, if you want to proceed your data more professionally, consider using Origin Pro or MATLAB for plots and diagrams. For creating schematics and flowchart, Microsoft Visio is a great tool. Finally, AI tools. Let's talk about AI tools a moment here. They are trending and widely used, but caution is essential. Keep in mind that AI-generated content can be inaccurate or even unintentionally copied exactly from another text. These tools are still evolving and training, and many universities, professors, reviewers, and publishers currently hold a negative view toward their uncritical use. So yes, use AI tools, but use them wisely. Never copy and paste the output directly. Instead, revise it and make sure your own voice and understanding are reflected in final content. So, when preparing to submit your manuscript to a scientific journal, it is important to compile all the necessary documents according to the journal's submission guidelines. These typically fall into two categories: requested file and separate supporting files. Required files commonly requested by most journals. The first one is the manuscript. This is the main body of your research article, usually submitted with embedded figures or tables, an author's name and affiliation, and everything in it. The graphical abstract, a visual representation that summarizes the main findings or concept of your work in a concise and engaging way. Cover letter, a letter addressed to the editor-in-chief outlining the importance of your research, the scientific gap it addresses, and why it is suitable for publication in the target journal. Another file is highlight, a short summary of the key contributions of your paper, usually in the form of 3 to 5 bullet points, designed to quickly inform editors and reviewers of the novelty and relevance of your work. Declaration statement, another file, a required form typically provided by the journal that confirms the originality of the manuscript, authorship, ethical compliance, and any conflict of interest. And finally, suggested reviewers file, a list of 3 to 5 potential reviewers who are expected in your field. You must include their full name, the institutional affiliations, and contact email. There should be no conflict of interest between you and these suggested reviewers. The other files, separate supporting files, may be requested based on journal policy. Which one is like title page? Includes the full title, names of all authors, their institutional affiliation, and the corresponding author's contact information. Manuscript without figures, clean version of the manuscript text, placeholders or captions where figures and tables will later appear. Manuscript without names, a version of the manuscript prepared for blind review, omitting all authors' name and affiliations. Another file is figures, a separate file containing only the figures, usually in high resolution, each with its caption. The same for tables, a separate file containing all tables with their respective captions. Even sometimes, figure captions and table captions required as stand-alone files to assist with layout and formatting. So, if you are submitting a revised version, you will need these two files as well. Responses to reviewers. This file details your point-by-point response to reviewer comments, justifying changes or clarifying aspects of the manuscript. Manuscript with highlights. a version of the revised manuscript where all changes are highlighted, often using different colors to help reviewers track update efficiently. So, good luck with your submission.